Conspiracy theory is in play. We're just stopping by with a warning. Those of us on the free-to-play side of things, it's about to get tough. It's about to get a little bit rougher out there for us on the free-to-play side of things. But hey, Gideon, why are you still happy? Why are you still smiling? Because this is just how the game works. The game pivots over time from actually favoring, giving some incentives to the free-to-play side of things, and the pendulum sometimes then swings over to the spender side of things. And again, you have to have that. The spender's got to spend so that if we're sitting here playing for free, we're able to participate in this live service game. Now, what's happening? What are we talking about? Well, we need to keep in mind some of the things that just happened recently in the past to really get our bearings. The game actually has been in a phase where it's been favoring the free-to-play community. Right, just recently, right, they handed out a lot of stuff, a lot of these groupness packages. Maybe it's not for us at the end game, but it really helped those of us who are coming up behind, giving people star jammers, for instance. If you don't have a true team that's made for the certain game mode, like Alliance War or Cosmic Crucible in this case, when you start running into true Crucible teams on defense, you don't have any, you can't win. You can't win. All right. So it's really a good thing that they give that out to those individuals. So people that are into that game mode who are coming up behind us, they have an opportunity to participate, get some wins, and then feel good about participating in the game mode. Something maybe a little more meaty. We saw recently Rage Gaming. He published some videos. He talks about how, as a free-to-play player, he's able to land really high ranking spots in these leaderboards. Okay, so top 2000s, top 1000, 500, perhaps even top 250. Perhaps I even heard him say something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But think about that for a minute. Top 500, top 250 on a leaderboard event that people are spending money on, and you're not paying anything, right? You're just using the resources you have as a free-to-play player. It's awesome on the free-to-play side of things, but obviously it's not awesome on the spender side, right? I use my power cores. I try to unlock characters as quickly as possible that way, just to get the teams up and running as quick as possible. But there's people that pay for those characters. There are people that pay to be on these leaderboards and say, hey, man, right? Why am I paying for this, right? OG Diamond Dave, he came out, he had some live streams that people might get a little offended at, right? He's essentially saying, you should monetize gold. You should have to buy gold, right? He probably didn't mean that in a literal sense. Maybe he did, but he's just bringing out that at this point in time, the gap between the free-to-play and the spenders are not that great. And this happens from time to time in Marvel Strike Force. And I believe the pendulum is definitely getting to swing hard. It's getting ready to swing hard back in the other direction. And we need to be ready for that. Well, why would I say that? What's going on? What information do we have that would suggest that's going to happen? Well, let's think about what we've seen, other signs we've seen in the game over the past couple months. We did get into a resource crunch, did we not? There was a lot of extra things we could do, and that kind of got tightened down. Why? Well, Scope is obviously trying to slow the free-to-play community down. Why? Well, if we think about this, it's kind of like a marathon, right? This is a live service game, but you don't really end it, but you continually move forward, you continually run. It's kind of like a marathon. And inside of a marathon or any type of competitive racing, there's usually groups, right? There's groups of people. There's people that are moving about the same pace, and they just kind of group up, right? And run with each other. That's called the Peloton. Okay, so it's a Peloton, right? That's that expensive bike thing that I got in my basement that I said I was supposed to ride last year. And here we are in 2026. Are we riding it? If you're not riding it, you got to start riding it. Right. So what a Peloton is, again, it's those groups. It's those groups of people that are kind of running together. And that's separate from the leader, right? There's somebody in the front, maybe a group of people in the front. That's the leaders. But there's other main groups of people that are all kind of running together, same pace, they're performing together. What can happen from time to time, what does happen, we should say, on the competitive side of things is an individual feels, I can do better. I'm feeling better today, or I trained differently, or this pace, I can go more. I can do more. I can move up to another group of people, right? A different Peloton, if you will, right? A different group of people that are running that race more aggressively, perhaps, than I'm doing right now. But you can't really do that. It's difficult to do that if your group is here and you literally don't even see another group in sight. You have no idea how far you have to run to, exert yourself, because you not right. You have to exert yourself ahead of that pace to catch up to whoever that next group is. So if you can't even see them, it's difficult to do that. So in Marvel Strike Force, things kind of have this rubber band where the spenders get way out in front, way out in front, and then the game kind of brings everybody back together. Okay. So when the game has that part, when we're at that part where people are kind of back together, then you can see that group. You can see that next group out in front of us. Okay. So you think about maybe the player voice, they talk about the different types of players in the game. They kind of just separate them into the 5 spending buckets: free to play, light spender, medium spender, whale, kraken. Okay, those 5 groups. There's other groups we could say, but we'll say those 5 groups. And then somewhere in between there, also there's play style. How aggressive are you, or I should say, how hardcore of a player are you versus how casual are you? Do you log in once or twice a day, or maybe once or twice a week? Right? There's a difference there. And there's times when people feel like, hey, I can do more. I could log in more. Or hey, maybe I will buy a couple of those $5 offers. That nice battle pass that's in there with the brimstone right now, 300 character shards for all the members, plus diamonds for the older members. I mean, those are good battle passes, right? Those are good battle passes. I haven't bought a battle pass in quite some time, but when I did, those are what are the ones that I would look for. It's ones where I could get the characters up quicker, then I could just concentrate on the gear, and then you move on to the next team, right? So maybe people are thinking, hey, I can do a little bit more. I'm liking the game. I want to get more involved in Alliance War. I want to try to score higher in raids, whatever the case is, right? Whatever the case is, or the reverse is true. I really want to back it down just a touch. Well, same deal. If you have no idea how far you got to trail out to find another group of people in the back, makes you a little nervous to do that as well. So right now, things in the game, the player base, for the most part, there's not a whole lot of advantage to spend, not spend. We're all kind of here bunched up, and things are getting ready to get pushed apart. How do we know this? Well, we've seen progression systems, right? Purple ISO was announced. Purple ISO, you put that on your characters, right? We had level 3. Now we're going up to 4 and 5. 4 and 5 is 4 is doable. 5 is definitely a spender type milestone. Okay, you get extra stats for putting more ISO on your characters. And they also gave a chase character with that Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel, strong character. Remember when he came out, people said he's weak, he's trash, he's garbage. Well, if you face they full power Blue Marvel, you know there's something different going on there, especially if you don't have one yourself, right? That's okay. There's a spender advantage. In addition, we got Battle World. And in Battle World, we have the Sentry. So alliances that are organized, that are working together, were able to score higher. They were able to get their Sentry. I haven't unlocked Sentry yet, but there's alliances out there. Play hard, coordinate. They got themselves a Sentry. And once again, you have a character who's strong, who's able to do things that you can't do. It kind of changes the course of a matchup. Okay, it kind of changes the course of a matchup. Most of these things by themselves individually, we think they don't do anything, and individually, maybe they don't. But over the course of, let's say, an alliance war, you have 2 extra characters that other people may not. They can give you 2 extra outcomes over the course of 24 attacks for people to take the game more seriously. That can be a big pivot in the win or loss bracket. But there's more, is there not? We have diamonds. So diamonds were announced to go from 3 to 5. Big jump in stats. Initially, the way it was announced, I think even the spender community, they probably still feel that way. They're not really digging it because there's no straight line for the most part to the diamonds. You just throw some money out there, it's a roll of the dice, and you get what you get. However, there are, as we said, these leaderboard events that for the leaderboard events, as well as some of these other events that would give you families of characters, right? They'll give you families of characters. So at least there is a targeted amount of people that could be affected by the increase. And the increase, again, is an increase in stats, big bump in stats, right? Those of us who don't have diamonds yet on the character, right? If I have 3 red stars that I have on my character and I'm going up against someone else who has them at 7 red stars, who now has that converted into 5 diamonds, it's a big jump in stats, and it will make a difference in gameplay. Are there any more stat bumps that we need to be thinking about? Of course. Over the roadmap, they showed us that we're moving towards Alliance account 110. Alliance account 110. So we're at 105. So we're going to 110 again. Increase in stats there as well. So people are saying, well, hey, man, I'm ready for that. I've been saving up my energy and I'm just going to get my account up to 110. Soon as it drops, soon as they make it happen, I'm just putting it up to 110. Okay, that's fine. There will still be a disadvantage. I believe, at least, there will still be a disadvantage. Because will the economy in game be calibrated to 110? Meaning, if Scope is going to give me the resources, will they give me the resources to take my character up to 105 for free? Or will they give me the resources to take him to 110 for free? In my mind, I think that they will delay on that portion of the economy until the average player would reach that 110. And then they integrate that into the economy. That means as a free to play player, we'll be operating at a deficit, which makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If this is meant for the spender privilege initially, we might not be able to sustain building people up to 110. We'll have to see, right? So we'll stay tuned to people like Big Positive Geek that always talk about the in-game, I just said the word economy, and then we'll know when it looks good for the 110. I'm not saying that's going to change the way you do things and change the way you build. I'm just saying this is a reality of how the game works. At some point, Annihilus will be unlocked. And just like with Professor Xavier, Annihilus, he'll probably shut down Arena. The haves and the have-nots, he'll be the line in the sand. Those of us on the free-to-play side will take significantly longer. And so we'll get pushed way down in Arena, which will stifle our power cores, which, again, is fine. Over time, we push back up, right? That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. There was another interesting thing when it came to stats, right? Big glaring point that we're saying we might be missing here. Stats 3.0, right? Stats 3.0. So with the new stats that are coming out, two teams, the Retcon team and the Winter Guard, two Alliance War teams, one on the offensive side, one on the defensive side with new stats, and then every team coming out before, everything we already talked about, purple ISO, level 110, diamonds, right? Everything we already talked about is amplified even more when we get into that next stat bracket. And it's not just those two teams. Once again, it's every team that comes out before that that will definitely separate the community and put a gap in between the free and the spender class. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And on the competitive landscape, once again, now you have a team, like we said, on the offensive side and the defensive side in Alliance War. So that's 2 wins, right? That translates into 2 wins because you have an effective offensive team and a super stifling defensive team that other people may not have invested in or might be able to invest in, right? 2 teams, that's a lot in a short period of time, but the spenders are going to have that. So if you don't have it, that's going to be 2 losses added to your record, which over time, right, over the course of 24 Alliance members, that's difficult, if not impossible, to overcome. And that's fine. That's just part of the competitive landscape, right? If individuals who don't care, obviously they don't care about the game mode or they're not in the competitive side, it doesn't bother them, but that's not who we're talking about right now. We're talking about those individuals who they must be competitive, right? If they're spending in that manner and they get these characters in that manner and they want to invest in that manner, they're obviously in the competitive realm of things. And so sometimes if we're bothered by that, what does that also show about us? We're probably also in the competitive realm of things. So we just recognize that we can't do what those individuals are able to do. So what should we do coming up here in 2026? You're going to hear a lot of doomsayers. You're going to hear a lot of doom scrollers. Man, it's the same as it always is. Just have fun. Just have fun with the game. You just have to know that these things are coming and it's going to be fine. It's always fine, right? The game's been here for 8 years, right? The spenders have to they got to feel good about their spend or else they won't spend. And if they don't spend, then there's no game, right? If they don't spend, then there's no game. So really it comes down to one of the things that's really important. This is just a life lesson. Comparison is the thief of joy. So if we're trying to compare what we're doing with what somebody else is able to do, especially if it's unequal, right? They're spending hundreds of dollars, right? If it's just tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars, and we're not spending any, right? We shouldn't compare. Shouldn't compare. What we're trying to do is, right, look at self. That's all you can control. That's all you can control. So what can I do to be effective? What can I do to be better? It's just a life lesson. What can I do to be better today than I was yesterday? So hey, let's just look forward to another great year of Marvel Strike Force. And as they close in on their 8th anniversary, I'm super excited to see where this game is going. I'm really curious about the Age of Fear. Are we on the right track? Are we on the right track? Is the Fear itself storyline coming to Marvel Strike Force? I want to know what you think. What cool characters that are not in the game right now would you like to see in this upcoming year? That's what I want to know. Let's just keep it fun and keep it light. And hey, man, this video right here, this one right here, if you haven't seen that one yet, please check it out. It's legit.